Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us right here on K24 News Cut. Let's begin by having a look at what is shipping news this afternoon. Treasury CS John Mbadi assures legislators the decision to cancel the Adani deals is already under implementation. Confusion and reports of violence mark ODM party grassroots elections across the country as divisions emerge. Plus, the PCA Church joins the bandwagon. The Presbyterian Church of East Africa now wants all Adani deals cancelled. Well, good afternoon to you. K24 News Cut begins right now. I'm Alan Owino. Now, after 32 years of publication, People Daily is transitioning from print to digital-only format. The move responds to changing demographics, with traditional print readers declining and younger audiences preferring digital platforms. Ahead of tomorrow's official launch ceremony, our reporter David Kagina is at the Ngong Forest, where preparations are underway with the latest update. Kagina, speak to us.
Well, indeed, Alan, as you've mentioned, we are currently at Ngong Forest, where preparations, as you can see behind me, are currently ongoing. What is happening is that people are digging holes that will be used to plant trees in tomorrow's event. Tomorrow's event is the culmination of the full transition, 100% of the People Daily newspaper from being a physically delivered newspaper to a digital version. Remember, it's been 32 years since 1992 when People Daily was first established, and by then the paper was only being issued once, meaning once a week the paper would be issued to the various people. But 6 years later, in 1998, that was 1992, but in 1998 now the paper transitioned and now it became a daily paper, meaning that papers would be printed each and every day and the copies would then be sold. But in 2004 now they took a different business model, where now the paper was being issued free of charge, making it the first free newspaper in the country. And this business has been ongoing for 32 years now, meaning that each and every day a tree is felled somewhere to produce the paper on which the newspaper will be printed. But in line with the current global trends and well as the consumer trends, we've seen a difference in that now people are consuming more online. Is called to conserve and plant even more trees, including the country targeting to plant at least 15 billion trees by the end of the current presidential term. That's around 2027. That means that a lot of work has to be done, including in increasing the country's tree cover. And so what we are currently witnessing is that People Daily, the newspaper owned by MediaMax company, which also owns K24, where the viewers are seeing us right now, is now transitioning to 100% digital. So tomorrow we'll be having the official launch right here on this ground where the trees are currently, preparations are currently ongoing. We will plant trees in an effort, to undo the work that has been witnessed there before. And we believe now that we are setting the trend for the country to understand that we do not have to, where as much as possible we can try and reduce our footprint in terms of damaging the environment by reducing the paper that we're using on printing, not just in our offices but also for the newspapers. And I believe after this became the first free newspaper in the country, now we are breaking another record, being the first newspaper to go 100% digital, meaning that now our viewers can get us on their phones, on their digital equipment, be it their laptops, iPads, be it their home computers, and from the comfort of wherever they will be, they will not have to struggle to wait for the paper. Indeed, Alan, that is what is currently happening here. We'll continue following up on the development and what is happening, ensuring that our viewers are not left behind on the transition of People Daily newspaper to 100% digital. Back to you, Alan.
Very well. Our very own David Kagina is at the Ngong Forest, where the official ceremony will be transpiring tomorrow as PD goes fully digital. Moving on, NAC Kenya delegates are currently meeting at Ufungamano House here in Nairobi. Party leader Martha Karua is leading the delegates who are expected to ratify the party's decision to exit the Azimio coalition. Among other things, the delegates will chart a way forward for the party in terms of seeking coalition partners ahead of the 2027 elections.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather at a defining moment in our history. In 2006, our party, the National Rainbow Coalition, was formed to champion the dreams and aspirations of our people. We are now 18 years old. If it was a human being, we would say they are of age. We want to say NAC Kenya is of age. 4 years after the formation of NAC Kenya, that is in 2010, Kenyans gifted themselves our 2010 constitutions, a historic milestone symbolizing our collective commitment to good governance, integrity in management of public affairs, justice, equality, and democracy, all anchored in the rule of law. Today, at the tail end of 2024, 14 years after the promulgation of the Constitution, we are in a chaotic environment, witnessing the breakdown of the rule of law and all our foundational principles. We are grappling with profound challenges, and the answers lie in bold leadership with a clear and unwavering resolve. This is what we seek to provide as NAC Kenya. As a political party, we seek to be an integral part of the solution to whip up our beloved nation and its citizens to order, back to the path of building and living the Kenyan dream, which is so well articulated in the preamble to our charter, the Constitution of Kenya. I want to thank members of the National Delegates Convention for giving the party mandate, the party leadership mandate, to rebrand and reorganize ourselves in readiness to take up the leadership mantle of our beloved nation.
Away from that, Rural and Urban Private Hospitals Association of Kenya, RUPA, have lamented the harassment of its members in Mombasa by the county government. The issue has arisen from the county government's demand for a single business permit, which they argue that there is a court order which allows them not to pay. Freddie Kai with more.
Thank you so much, Alan Owino from studio. We are coming live from Mombasa County, whereby the Association of RUFA are congregated here in Mombasa to just address the issue to do with the harassment by the county government of Mombasa. They say that some of their members have been, their tools of trade have been confiscated, and also some of their hospitals were shut. Here with us is the chairman of the RUFA, Brian, to give us an overview of what really transpired during this time. Maybe we can start with your names and maybe tell us about the issue at hand you have with Mombasa County.
So my name is Dr. Brian Lishenga, National Chairman of Rural and Urban Private Hospital Association of Kenya. We have been in the coastal region for the last 1 week. Today we are in Mombasa County. And specifically our concern with the Mombasa County has been harassment and intimidation of our members. Here in Mombasa County we have over 120 healthcare facilities that are members of the Rural and Urban Private Hospital Association. Now, since 2021, there has been a court order barring the levying of single business permit on healthcare facilities that are members of our network because it violates the principle of double taxation. The matter is still in court. Actually, the next mention is coming up on 5th of December. And this court ruling is binding to all the 47 counties. It is not specific for any county. It has been there for the last 3 years. But recently we have received a lot of complaints from healthcare providers in Mombasa County. They are telling us about intimidation, about harassment, about their tools of trade being confiscated, and we have had at least 3 or 4 cases of even arrest of the healthcare facility owners. In total, out of our 120 healthcare facilities, about 43 of them have had disruption of business. Now, it is a problem for us because this kind of unfortunate incident is happening when we are struggling with the transition from NHIF to SHA. So this is a time Kenyans are trying to register. Kenyans are really seeking service. And we were hoping that things are beginning to normalize. Only for Mombasa County, particular, which is, second largest city in Kenya, for this to happen here, we find is unfortunate. We communicated to the county attorney. We communicated to the county executive committee member in charge of finance. We have written to them. Our lawyers have written to them. They have shown them the court order. In fact, we are surprised because Mombasa County is one of the few counties that has not responded to the petition for 3 years. So for them to come and start harassing providers is unfortunate. What we are now calling on the county government of Mombasa to do, respect rule of law, allow healthcare providers. Kenyans need healthcare. The transition to SHA will happen only if healthcare facilities are open. Please stop harassing, stop asking for bribes. If you have a challenge with hospital owners or hospital providers, sit down on the table and let us dialogue, but please respect court orders.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for your time. Alan, that is Daktari Brian put us at speed on what is transpiring in Mombasa County. From Mombasa, my name is Frederick Kai. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Frederick Kai. Moving on, as the ODM grassroots elections come to a conclusion, 2 people are fighting for their lives at Yala Sub-County Hospital when villagers stand against them for allegedly trying to disrupt the process in Game constituency. In Kilifi County, a section of ODM members wanted the grassroots elections to be nullified and repeated, claiming that there was outside political interference in the exercise. Martin Opio with the details.
The mid-morning incident occurred at Muhanda Primary School in Game Yala Sub-County, where 2 individuals were beaten up and left for dead before Good Samaritans took them to the hospital. According to witnesses, the 2 were part of a group of youth allegedly hired from the neighboring Kisumu to ensure that only aspirants aligned to a local politician sailed through.
Walikuwa na panga na walikuwa na kisu. Tear gas ilikuwa kwa ile gari. Ile gari ilikuwa imesimama, hao vijana wakaenda kuangalia wakapata tear gas iko huko na mapanga.
Na mjumbe yule alifanya hiyo kitu, akuwe stopped, awache kutumia watoto wa wengine, atumie watoto wa game. Kwa nini achukue haya from Kisumu? Alafu wanakufa vile wanataka kukufa hivi saizi.
The situation turned worse when agitated villagers spotted strangers driving around in a car around Muhanda Primary School, which is situated along the Kisumu-Busia Highway. Residents say that when the individuals were asked to identify themselves, they declined. According to the witnesses who sought anonymity, the exchange attracted a crowd that descended on the 2, prompted their driver to take off, leaving behind 3 members who had gone for breakfast in a local hotel.
The people of Yala have intercepted over 12 people with pangas, with rungus, with machetes, with tear gas, and some of them have been arrested, have been taken to Yala police station. These people came and started terrorizing innocent voters who wanted to cast their votes for their respective polling stations officials.
They were cornered by the mob that descended on them with crude weapons, but one managed to shake the mob and ran for his life. The remaining 2 received serious cuts among other injuries. Game constituency ODM chairman Nico Chola condemned the incident and blamed local politicians for the incident.
Mtoto wangu amepigwa mob justice. Mtoto wangu amewachwa for dead. Sasa msamaria mwema ndiye alichukua huyu mtoto. Mahali amepigwa na kuletwa hapo hospitalini. Saa hii tulikuja hapa asubuhi. Hakuna hata mwanasiasa, hata hakuna agency yake wamekuja hapa kutoa huyu mtoto hapa kumpeleka hospitali.
Elsewhere in Kilifi County, a section of ODM members want the grassroots elections nullified and repeated. They claimed that there were outside political interference in the exercise.
About the appealing, maybe sijapata hiyo report, but when it comes to our table, we'll give them a chance to appeal. Sisi tuko na forms zenye tutawapatia wajaze. If they want to appeal, they'll pay 3,000 shillings to the chama, and then they appeal, we will take it to Nairobi, to the National Election Committee.
Some party members in Rabai constituency failed to participate in the polls amid total confusion, with no election officials available at the polling stations.
Hatukuwa tunategemea namba kubwa kama hii, lakini tumeona wapenda chama hususan wazee, kwa vijana na kina mama wamejitokeza. Pia niwapongeze na kuwashukuru kwa sababu wameweza kunichagua mimi kama mwenyekiti wa vijana kwa Upanga polling station, na ambaye ilikuwa nimeweza kuingia sasa pia mainstream.
Magarini constituency also experienced confusion, with most polling stations remaining closed with no activity, while disruption were also reported in the few polling stations that were open.
Na uchaguzi wenyewe umefanyika kwa njia ile ya kunyosha mikono, yani uwazi, mahali parawanja wazi na watu wakachaguana bila shida. Kwa kweli hatukutarajia watu wengi watitokeze, lakini kwa sababu watu bado wamesimama na chama cha ODM, ni kwamba chama bado kiko imara na sisi tuko imara na tunahakikisha kuanzia huku chini mashinani tuko sawa.
At the ODM headquarters in Kilifi Town, party officials led by the ODM coordinator in the county, Justin Bayer, and the chairperson of the party election committee in the county, Zawadi Nzaro, said that there were attempts of infiltration of the party polls by politicians from other political parties, hence the confusion in some polling stations.
Umeingiliwa sana na matanzi vingine vetu sisi hapa Kilifi, kama vile kama UDA, kama vingine vote, we can name them. Wameingilia hapa ni kama kuharibu uchaguzi wa ODM. Na watu wa ODM wamejengwa kifikra kwamba hizi shida zote ni shida za ukweli, na sio wote walioharibu uchaguzi. Nafurahika sana kama 90% ya uchaguzi wa Kilifi umeenda sawa, lakini 10% wana shida.
In Kajiado County, two factions have emerged after the grassroots polls. One wing led by Governor Joseph Olelenko and several ODM elected and nominated leaders opted for boardroom consensus, while a splitter group led by former Senator and ODM Board of Election Chairperson Judith Pareno opted for actual grassroots elections to pick their leaders.
Elected members of parliament, our elected MCAs and the nominated ones have resolved that we will protect our party from manipulation and from misleading personalities, so that Kajiado County continue to remain a strong ODM zone.
To condemn some splinter group which is doing a parallel election in this county, and we are not with them. We are doing our own, in our own way, from all polling stations as directed by the party. We will adhere to all the rules.
Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Well, we'll take a short break right here on K24 Newscast. We'll be back with more updates in a short while.
Follow the champions on the home of football. Watch the latest Man City content exclusively. Full match replays, extended